I'm Ana Sortun. I have a restaurant in Epir called Oleana, and we do a lot of Western Mediterranean food. We focus on spice and Mediterranean things. Burak is a restaurant in California.
Yes, I have a restaurant 20 miles south of San Francisco, San Carlos, Pilita, over about a year now.
What's the name of it?
Pilita.
Pilita.
Pilita, which means the old wood-burning stove ovens that they used to cook and heat the house at the same time. It was very symbolic. They chose to run.
You have a Pilita in the restaurant?
I have a real small one.
So we're here today to do some modern Turkish food. About 10 years ago, I was invited to go to Turkey and study with a couple ladies. One in southeast of Turkey in a town called Gaziantep, which is very famous for its food. And the other was in Istanbul, so I did two very different places in Turkey. And when I first went, I didn't know much about food or the people or anything. I had spent most of my time, I studied in France. My background is classically French trained. I spent some time in Spain and Italy, a lot in the south of France, and so this was sort of my my world of Mediterranean food. So when I was invited 10 years ago to study with these women, I thought, wow, this could be very interesting. I know nothing about this. So I went, I had an amazing time, I had amazing food, and it really changed the way that I cook from now on. And a lot of it was the use of spice, which is how I sort of differentiate the Eastern Mediterranean. What makes it different from the rest of the Mediterranean is the use of spice, and it's not heavy spices. It's spices like dried mint, sumac, wild oreganos, not spicy, however, in some parts of Turkey they do use a lot of chilies, but it's not supposed to be, it's not overwhelmingly spicy, and it's not heavily spiced like some Indian food or Thai food can be. So it became a real interest in me because this whole spice thing created really rich flavors without making dishes feel heavy, and it was also a way of making, especially vegetable cookery, making things really, really satisfying, almost tasting as if there was meat in it. In fact, the other day I tasted something that the Tunisian chef here made, and I swore there was meat in it because he had so many layers of all these incredible spices and chilies in the dish that it was so rich. It felt like I was eating sausage or something, but yet it was very light. Light feeling. So this is why I fell in love with this stuff. I also thought that it was a really big, wide world of sophisticated cooking to get to know. And the Ottoman Empire, all the meals, the fabulous chefs in the palaces, the food is like, makes Napoleon look lazy sometimes. His chefs look lazy. So it became a passion and a study of mine. So at Oleana, we do a lot of interpretive Turkish. I really believe in learning the rules first before I break them, but we also modernize and bring in fresh local stuff because my husband's a farmer, so we incorporate both of them. So he and I are going to show you sort of talk about a little bit of classic and then talk about how we sort of modernize some dishes.
So today I have a dish called beğendi. Beğendi is eggplant puree. And I'm going to show three different ways. So what we have here is grilled eggplant that I've taken the skin off. I've taken some of the seeds out. What I do with this, I use a wooden spoon, kind of hash it up like this. What I'm going to do with this, I have a simple bechamel sauce with some flour, butter, milk. It's a white bechamel. So I'm going to add my eggplant to this. This dish also is known as Sultan's Delight in Turkey, and it's supposed to be prepared by the cooks, one of the cooks that prepared it for the Sultan, because the Sultan enjoyed it so much. It was named Sultan's Delight. Is the story behind this dish, but also there's other information that this dish actually didn't show up in Turkish cuisine until the 1950s. So, you know, it's one of those things that...
And I heard too that somebody in the palace was very nervous that French royalty was coming to visit. So they invented something that was, they thought the French would like, because they knew the French like creamy things.
I also heard that there was, in old Ottoman documents, there's a reference to eggplant puree like this prepared by Catholic chefs, the Catholic chefs in the Ottoman's courts. But there's no reference as far as any other item being added to it as far as meat. So today what I'm going to do, we have this puree ready. Let this cook for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to show this the way they prepare it in the Aegean part, in the western part of Turkey, with some chicken. Tomatoes. Peppers. And garlic. Let that work.
Now, is this one traditional? This one you said in the southern part?
This is in the western part. In the western part, this is traditional. Usually, this is prepared with beef or lamb, but in the western part of the country, they also do this with chicken. And you kind of saute it and braise it a little bit.
Is that chicken stock?
Then that's chicken stock that I have there, yes. This cooks like this. As I was saying, eggplant is used in so many different dishes in Turkey that this is just another version that is not really popular here in the Western cuisines. Smoky flavor.
Yeah.
So we let our chicken cook like this. I'll let this chicken cook, I'll come back to it. I'll show you another version of it with, this is some sirloin beef. I have onions, tomatoes, and garlic. As you can see, it's cooked the same way as far as the chicken, but I've braised this for about 45-50 minutes. That's why it has this nice dark color on there. Also, the eggplant puree, I add a little nutmeg. It gives it a nice distinct flavor with this nutmeg.
Spatula? Want to use this one?
Spoon. Use this one. I'll show that in the next version. A bit of eggplant on the bottom like this.
You can smell the smokiness of that.
the beef bandit.
So traditionally it's essentially meat or beef or lamb stew.
Beef or lamb stew.
Served on a creamy smoked eggplant.
Creamy smoked eggplant.
Smell the smokiness of it.
If you like to taste some.